You know, if it wasn't UFC, I'd probably be cooking meth in a trailer in prison, so.
Abrasive.
Wait, are you a homosexual?
Brash.
I'll give you a chance to win. Just go hard.
Captivating.
I always call Izzy the Chinese champion, but Izzy's not the Chinese champion. Izzy is the modern day man. Izzy is a Chinese.
Fight fans, welcome back.
Meow.
Although hard to label the change in Sean Strickland as growth, the liberation of Sean's character has propelled him to fame and title contention in the UFC.
I could have, because Dana White would be like, hey, go that white trash or get him out of here.
Whilst exploring one of the most controversial personalities to ever grace the sport, we hope to discover exactly what sparked the fuse that has led to the explosive rise of Sean Strickland.
I appreciate this. Without you guys, I would probably be a piece of somewhere. Now I'm a piece of with money. Let's go!
Strickland's journey began in Corona, California. Raised in a blue-collar family, Sean had a troubled childhood riddled with abuse from his father.
My father, abusive alcoholic, drank, everything about him I hated. Everything about him I hated.
As Sean's success grew inside the octagon, his exposure to the public would increase in turn. Through numerous interviews, it became apparent that a disturbing youth would prove the catalyst for Sean's future instability.
My mom bought us guns at super early. I was like in elementary school with a loaded gun in my room, Well, my dad, dude, is like, when I was a kid, dude, he was like the monster, dude. He was like the boogeyman.
Eventually, Sean's volatile relationship with his father would boil over, and Sean finally put an end to years of living in fear.
I'm just like, dude, like, today's a day. I'm done with it. Headbutt and break his nose. Like, he falls down, crying. And I'll never forget, the monster, the boogeyman in my life, just watching, fall to the ground, crying, holding his nose and bleeding.
Now making his own way in the world, a 16-year-old Tarzan made his professional debut in King of the Cage, dominating the roster for 5 years before making his start in the UFC with a record of 13 wins and 11 stoppages.
I've been around, but I finally got the opportunity to prove myself in the UFC, and I'm pretty excited. Can't wait for that opportunity.
It's all over! Beautiful Sean Strickland!
Sean continued a solid run in the welterweight division, amassing wins over Luke Barnett,
Oh, and a nice exchange there.
Tom Breeze,
Good combinations.
and Alex Garcia.
Strickland with a massive KO!
Welterweight would prove a mixed bag for the American Psycho. While picking up solid wins over Court McGee and Nordine Taleb,
Big right now, and another one!
facing inconsistency inside the cage, perhaps the biggest setback of Sean's life was about to happen outside of it. In December of 2018, Sean suffered a horrific motorcycle accident, rendering him unconscious for several hours. Previously believing he would never fight again, Strickland would announce his return to the UFC 2 years later. This time at 185 pounds, he felt he would be able to take more short-notice fights as he aimed to compete more frequently. Michael Bisping revealed Sean had received a considerable insurance payout for the accident. The money is what changed his fighting style because it took away the stress of fighting. He was so concerned, but since having money in the bank, he can do what he loves. Once obsessed with preserving his MMA record at all costs, Strickland felt he had nothing to lose, but with his competitive window closing, could he still make another run at the title? Strickland would not only return from his accident with a revitalized hunger for competition, but unashamedly himself.
I'll deal with that shit when I'm old. I'm 29. I got a few more years left in me. I'm gonna ride these. I'm gonna ride it till the wheels fall off. Let's have some fun.
Sean's new approach to life and fighting would shine through inside the octagon, demonstrated best in his middleweight comeback against Jack Marshman.
Fight you for the center, Jack.
You can't.
Bro, you just can't fall. Why don't you fall? I knew I'd like you.
He's with Sean
30
Strickland.
seconds, Jack. Let's go. Just go hard. 10 seconds, Jack. Come on, Jack. Come on, Jack. 5 seconds, Jack. Jack, why is your head made of steel?
Strickland's next challenge would come in the form of rising prospect Brendan Allen. However, it would be Sean emerging as the new one to watch.
Another jab. Good one. Two on that right, Allen. Strickland trying to end it. And it's over. Sean Strickland.
The rebirth of Sean not only saw him continuing to build a dangerous skill set, but continue to stay in the headlines.
I couldn't say because Dana White would be like, hey, go that white trash, get him out of here. But now, since I'm getting a little bit more fan base, people want to watch me fight, I can say a lot more offensive so it's nice. But now I'm just gonna be the white trash than I am. It's nice.
Following successive wins over Krzysztof Jotko and Uriah Hall,
Do drugs, I'll probably end up losing my mind, so I stay away from it. I think after I'm done fighting, I'm gonna go on a shroom journey. Everybody swears by shrooms, you know?
in spite of his recent successes though, there's always a monster waiting around the corner, ready to devour those unfortunate enough to not see them coming. It was time for Sean's first big fight against surging contender and future champion Alex Pereira.
Doing all the clinch in the ground.
The stage was set for an epic night of fights, but during the press conference, Sean seemed more focused on tormenting Israel than answering questions regarding his upcoming matchup.
Grown-ass man on TikTok. Maybe that's the problem, bro.
And
you don't want this guy's a champion.
Do something about
you
it.
don't want this guy's a
Do
champion.
something about it.
Hey,
I'll break my nail in your
get
face.
this man. Alex, get
Hey, man, you
Ever the showman, Sean was determined to put out an exciting performance with Pereira on his feet. Strickland responded to the loss in typical jovial Sean fashion, endearing him to fans who related to his antagonistic yet down-to-earth disposition.
When you sparred with him, did you think like, oh, this is where I fucked up in that fight, or oh, this is what I would do different in a rematch, or is it just...
No, I'd kickbox the guy again. You know, it's funny.
Keeping his promise to stay active, Sean bounced back just 5 months later to face the gorilla Jared Cannonier. Never afraid to let his feelings be known, Strickland wasn't shy in his analysis of the judges.
Hats off to Jared, but again, you have judges that don't know how to do their job. You actually look at the scorecards, and you look at the significant strikes, and you look at how many times I wobbled him. And you know, you have people, experts in the field, come up to me and say, "Yeah, man, I don't know how you lost that one. You landed way more. The scorecard should say it."
A month later, Strickland would see Nasruddin Imavov on the horizon at UFC Vegas 67.
That's what you're seeing him do patiently. Pressure. Good timing.
Winning 4 of 5 rounds, the man of controversy dispatched the Russian sniper with ease, proving his place was still deserved at the top of the division.
Second, Sean Strickland!
I'm a company guy, man. You pay me, I'll fight Francis Ngannou, Eric.
Sean was back in the win column and back making the media uncomfortable.
I found that out if you were like, oh no, I love my husband. He is the greatest guy ever. I have a bunch of kids. I'm happily married. Then I said, all right, well, have a good day.
6 months later, Sean is booked in what many considered a puzzling matchup against Abus Magomedov.
There it is to Germany, and it gets to work early. Lovely stuff.
Why was Strickland, a veteran who clawed his way to the top of the division, being matched up with someone with just a single UFC fight? Sean speculated that Abus's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, had been spying on Sean and wanted to set up his fighter for a big win.
But just kind of rough, dude. You watch me spar, and the next thing you know, it's like, hey, 3 weeks later, we got this guy. We want you to fight.
Despite the risk, Sean wanted to remain active, and subsequent to a conversation with close friend Chris Curtis, the pair decided it was easy money.
called him back like, this is a stupid fight. And no disrespect to Abus, but after doing the research, I told Sean, this is free money.
After a dangerous first round, Sean applied the pressure and showed Abus there are levels to this, offend at least half the audience post-fight.
It was some good wholesome man. Americans, we need to go back to like taking women out of the workforce, and maybe that's what up, you guys. We let women vote. No offense.
In perhaps the biggest upset in the division's history, Strickland faced off against middleweight champ Israel Adesanya on short notice and proceeded to shock the world. But it wouldn't be just one lucky punch. Yet, in his very first title defense, the rising South African star Dricus du Plessis would overwhelm Sean, and it seemed Strickland's time in the spotlight had passed, at least for now. If you look up the word divisive in the dictionary, you'll find Sean Strickland. Despite this, somehow Sean's childlike nature can be disarming, humorous, and even affable.
I mean, technically, when I got stopped, I was still coherent. You know, I wasn't dead. I was awake. I was aware. But, nah, it was a good stoppage, man. I mean, that guy has dynamite. You know, if it wasn't that, he would have countered. Man, I didn't even think I'd be in the UFC. I remember when I got my first UFC call, I was like, what the f***? Like, it's not supposed to happen.
While the tireless scramble for contendership rages on, one man remains focused on bringing the belt home to a small, white trash town in Corona, California.